we talk about the veracity of the data that we're using to feed the algorithm. Much of it is audit quality, but we've got filters established on the front end of our data ingestion pipeline that is specifically looking to flag data that might be invalid. Maybe it's an outlier, right? So it might be that, it was 5 o'clock on a Friday and the carrier fell off the load and you needed to move that load at any cost. So you knowingly paid $1,000 more to move it. That's an outlier. We don't want that feeding the algorithm. Or it might be a partial truckload that somebody miskeyed, right? And marked it as a truckload. We don't want those things influencing. And when we onboard a new customer, on average, we find that we're flagging about 35% of the customer's
Wow.
initial data feed is potentially dirty. And then we work with the customer to adjust some of those filters to fit their business. And I'll give you an example of that. We have a default filter that says anything under 5,000 pounds is likely a miskeyed LTL or partial truckload. Right. So those would all initially be flagged, but we also know that a full truckload of empty plastic water bottles, going from a packaging manufacturer to Niagara Waters, as an example, or somebody like that, Poland Springs, weighs about 3,500 pounds, right? So then we're able to adjust those filters to say if the shipper is X or the receiver is Y or the commodity is Z, this rule doesn't apply, right? So a 3,500-pound shipment, or look, when I worked for Staples, we bought a lot of bubble wrap, right? A full truckload of bubble wrap was 2,000 pounds, right? So, that type of thing. So we can adjust those filters to ensure that for each customer, we're getting the maximum amount of data that's feeding the algorithm, but still protecting the algorithm from those outliers and user errors and miskeyed shipments and things like that. And that's part of what leads to the accuracy